Do you need the line? Actually, can you remind me your name? Here, I can give you. I can give you the login.
You see that she said that she's
I clicked on I can't use the button.
It's innovation with the exclamation instead of the I, and all the words for that. I do that. Do you need to maybe okay, here's that. Sorry. Oh no, this is something else.
Oh,
The Wi-Fi. The better the Wi-Fi. That's the jetpack. Go ahead and close this one. That's just that was. And you want to log on to the internet? The sort of hover the mouse on the bottom. You can pull up some water. Good morning.
That's so intimidating.
I'm glad you made it in.
Yeah, that's what Natalie said. You were braving the metro, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah, it was quite an adventure.
Hey, there are a couple of people joining us online. My name is Dina Herbert. I'm the coordinator of the Innovation Hub, and we're going to get started in a few minutes. I think we'll wait a few more minutes for some other folks to arrive. You're welcome to some coffee. I think pastries and bagels are coming soon.
Just
So this oh no, you're going to be sorry. The head user. Oh, exclamation. No, innovation, but no I. But the exclamation.
For the first I.
Yeah. Just for the first. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's not. Because I always feel that.
They don't have a lot of versatility.
I can also move a little bit.
I want to sit together. Sometimes. Oh, yeah, they're first. Not related. Not related at all. My magnet, my computer won't stay on unless it's on it. But it's not.
Do you need a computer?
I do need it.
Okay, hang on one second. What's your Twitter handle? I just realized I should know this for legislative. I'm sorry.
It's Congress.
It's Congress Archives?
Archive.
Okay. Archive? Yes, I see. Okay. No, that's fine.
Archive.
Fair. Hi, everyone. This is Dina Herbert. I'm the coordinator of the Innovation Hub. For those online, we're going to get started in a few minutes.
I need a. Yeah, okay. I go in the hallway. I think the hallway across. I'll ask the there. Yeah. Yeah, I think there's like yeah.
We're doing this. One day,
Do you need a mouse? Hang on. Yeah. Thank you. That's why we have extras. Yeah, the person who's supposed to be giving the tutorial is not. So we officially are going to get started. So this is sort of a welcome coffee. There'll be a tutorial. Okay, because I'm still you want to
Okay, that's for the personnel.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm
James, are you doing the intro or is Peter doing the intro? You are doing it. I thought that, that's what I thought. Okay, so yes, if you have them on Google, I'll Drive if you want. If you have them on Google Drive, that would be the best. And you can email them over to me.
So that is October 7th.
Sorry, I thought you weren't doing it, but I guess I might have misread the emails. So we'll get started in a few minutes, probably in another 5 minutes, so please enjoy some coffee. I think some breakfast foods are coming soon. And there is Wi-Fi information behind you, and if anybody has trouble with it, please let me know. For the for the computer, so use Hub user, and it's exclamation innovation, but no I. It's exclamation novation. All over. It's no, it's just on the Wi-Fi. So it's not. I have an RNet if you want an RNet laptop, but and I think you have to like get it mapped to you or something. I don't know.
Right. But I think it's really
Thank you so much. You're welcome. And I'll tell you the password and all that when you're ready.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah, so this is, our.
I'm just really part of the research, you don't really want to participate.
No, you don't.
Good idea.
If you would, yeah, if you do want a researcher, we're not working with this time we don't. I can tell you how to do it.
Sure, it's share.
Sure. Okay. And how did you?
I have the email from the library.
Oh,
And-
great. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out how people.
Oh.
New people. So, yeah, we're not going to be looking at records here
Right,
now.
yeah. The handout is saying, it's a good idea.
Yeah, the handout. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, you can we have as part of the innovation hub scanning room. And so you're welcome to, if you're interested, we do have scanning available. So we're going to get started in a few minutes. James was doing the slides. James was here. I thought he was not doing it. So we'll get started in a few minutes with the slides and everything in a few minutes. And should more questions come up, I'll be happy to answer that.
Yeah.
So it looks like we're going to get started in a few minutes. Thanks for joining us online on Innovation Hub. I will check and we'll get started in just a few minutes. So it looks like the bagels, is it bagels? Bagels are here, so thanks to Kirill for bringing those. So please help yourself. James, we'll get started in a few minutes. So we'll get started. Welcome everybody to the first of a series of Wikipedia edit-a-thons between the National Archives Innovation Hub, the National Archives Center for Legislative Art, Library of Congress. So we're really excited to be here, and we have a very special visitor who is not supposed to be here, and we're all really excited that. I'm going to introduce the archivist of the United States, David Ferriero.
So I'm not supposed to be here because I'm from Boston, but my flight was canceled. So I'm here in person to greet you and say a few words of welcome to the National Archives, especially to you guys from the Library of Congress. Because I hope this is the beginning of a long and fruitful in between our institutions. So welcome to you guys, especially, but also regulars. Let me just say a few words. Some of you have heard this before, but just a few words about how important Wiki has become to me as a professional. Myself, Wikipedia, University. An over-the-top page on me that I watched over several months. Rhetorical comments saying, is this really true? Or is this too flowery language? So I have no idea who created it. I was embarrassed because I thought people would think that I had created it. So that was my introduction to it. Then I started thinking about, this is a community that we should be tapping into. So we need to think about working with the arbiters to think about ways that we can exploit this as a way of getting our content out to the eyes of our community. And then I moved on to the New York Public Library, where it became even more important for me to think about ways of exploiting the technology to get our content. So working with our who were wonderful and encouraging them to make links in Wikipedia so that our content was shared. And my favorite story is New York Public has the best, the best library for performing arts is in New York City. And one of my curators had just finished processing the Patty Chayefsky collection, and she went in to correct the page that had been created by, I think it was a Northwestern faculty. And there were all kinds of errors. And then she got this flaming email from the faculty member. How dare she criticize his work? She was terrific because she flamed right back. She was sitting with the content in front of her. She had the authentic documentation that proved that she was right. So that convinced me that there's a real role for us to be encouraging the use of Wikipedia to get our content out, but also to encourage the creation of new pages from the content. One of the things I'm proudest of is that we have about probably around 5,500 articles in Wikipedia that have heavy National Archives content. And for the past several years, the past 2 years at least, we have had 1.3 billion hits on that content. Nothing else in terms of providing access or catalog, YouTube, or whatever. Nothing else that triggers. I'm convinced that this is very important. And I have a huge investment that you guys are going to do, and that Wikipedia is investment. So that's where I'm coming from. As I've said many times, if it's good enough for the archivists of the United States, it's good enough. Very tight here. You're going to have a great opportunity upstairs to take a look at some very groundbreaking work that our staff has done around amending America. How an amendment is actually created, the checkered history of the 11,000 attempts to enjoy your time.
Thank you. Do we want to introductions? Do you want to, would it help for you to gauge what people's level of editing is?
So, how many people here will be editing for the first time today? Excellent. Welcome. My name is James DC, and today I will be giving you an introduction on how to edit Wikipedia and why you should get involved. Now, I believe the best way to learn how to edit Wikipedia is to actually do it, to try it out for yourself. It's really not that hard, but I figured I would provide some context first. So, next one.
Okay, hang on 1 second. Sorry, I'm trying to do this for the Google Hangout as well. Let me just share it. Okay, yes.
So, if you're not already familiar, Wikipedia is the world's largest encyclopedia, and it's created predominantly by volunteers. So, most of the time, the people who are editing it, the people who are going along changing what you're changing, are volunteers. We do this as a volunteer hobby because we want to make information available for everyone. And crucially, it's a not-for-profit cause. You're not making some investor money doing this, you're simply contributing to the public purpose of knowledge. So that's something very important. So, as of when I last updated these figures, there's more now, but we had 37.5 million articles in all the languages Wikipedia is available in, over 200. And over 5 million of those are in English. So English is the largest one by far, but there are a handful of other languages that have at least 1 million articles. The spread between different languages is very inconsistent. So you have English with 5 million, and then you have some that only have like 100 articles. So Wikipedia does try to serve as many languages as it possibly can, and there's a lot of content, and correspondingly, a lot of people looking at that content. In June of last year, the pages of Wikipedia were viewed 8.3 billion times, and that's just in 1 month. So if you edit Wikipedia, chances are people will read what you write. So next.
Oh, shoot. Sorry. My fault. Sorry. I apologize.
So why edit Wikipedia? You have this large website, and lots of people edit it. One reason, and this is the reason it's always appealed to me, is because of the instant gratification. Now, when you edit Wikipedia and you save it, that save is live immediately. There's no waiting process. You don't have to get it approved or whatever. You click save, and it's immediately up there for the world to see. And can you just think of a more amazing feeling that you've made a change to a website lots of people are looking at? You get that instant gratification. It's really a lot of fun. And you ever see something wrong on the internet, you know it's wrong, it frustrates you. But with Wikipedia, if something is wrong, you can fix it. And that's what's so great about Wikipedia. It's why the thing even works, because it attracts people who are very interested in fixing what's wrong on the internet. And so you get people making corrections, and this has resulted in a resource that's very useful for people. And because your work will be read, used, and spread worldwide, Wikipedia is read all over the world, especially in English, which is a very international language. So if you edit Wikipedia, you will be contributing to a source of knowledge that much of the world uses. So next slide. So a couple of things to keep in mind. Some basic expectations. Individual accounts are not shared accounts, so you can't have like an organizational account that everyone edits under. There's a principle of a one person, one account, and likewise, you shouldn't have more than one account for yourself unless it's clearly labeled. They generally, what they don't want is you like creating 5 accounts to argue with yourself. They see that as kind of gaming the system, and they really don't like that. So just if you just have one account and it's yours and you don't share it with anyone else, you should be good to go. Another thing is that when you edit, sometimes your edit, even if it's a perfectly valid edit, might be challenged. And because Wikipedia works, most of the time you make an edit, you save, and it's fine, and we all move on, it's good. Sometimes people disagree. However, disagreement's not the end of the world, because the way Wikipedia resolves its disputes is through discussion. And you get in a discussion with someone, and either you did something wrong, and that's okay, that's how you learn. You won't get kicked off the site for getting something wrong once. Or they were wrong, and if you simply explain how you were right, then they will be like, oh, maybe you have a point. And so through discussion, people think, what happens at the end of all this discussion, or at least what should happen, is that you get a better article out of it, because you actually, it's what you should be doing with sources. You should be critically examining them, making sure that the article represents everything that you wanted to say. So I'm kind of getting into the weeds here, but the general case is if someone disagrees on Wikipedia, you resolve it through discussion, and that should take care of any editorial issues. Next slide. So I'm going to go over a few of the rules. You don't have to worry too strongly about them, but you should keep them in mind. Just as a general, how Wikipedia is supposed to be written. One of the main editorial rules of point of view, which is just very basically, if you have disagreement in the sources, you present it fairly. You don't pick a side. You just try to represent the information that's out there. Next slide. Notability. This is the policy that addresses what gets its own Wikipedia article. You may wonder why some things have their own Wikipedia articles, some things don't. And that's because of this rule of notability that says that for something to have its own Wikipedia article, there has to be multiple publications independent of the source written about it. So if there's an organization and multiple articles have been written about how this organization is significant and they've done something big or they're terrible or whatever, then that makes something notable. So ownership of content. No one can own a Wikipedia article. This is something that is kind of hard to grapple with at times, but you edit Wikipedia in a collaborative way. So you can't, it's not enough to just simply say you're the expert in the subject, therefore you should have full control of the article, but rather you should consider your changes as being part of a public resource. So it takes some getting used to, definitely, but next slide. And conflict of interest, this is the thing that, so where I work, we work with a lot of organizations that are also interested in Wikipedia, and their first inclination is to edit the article about their organization, and I generally don't recommend that. The issue with conflict of interest on Wikipedia is that, so the firm rule is that if you're editing for and you're being paid to edit, you need to disclose that fact. The more less official but still pretty strong recommendation is that you avoid making edits to pages about yourself or your employer or your boss or things where it would be hard to separate work from your role editing Wikipedia. Now, you can edit about things that are relevant to your job. Like if you work at a library, you can edit about things that are in your library. That's perfectly fine. But if you edit the page about the library itself, that's kind of iffy. Now, because what they want to avoid is people, writing marketing language on the articles and making them just into emotional pieces. Wikipedia really doesn't like that. So, but if there is something genuinely wrong with the article, what you can do is articles that talk pages, those are like the discussion components of articles, and you can recommend changes. So that's how you get that addressed.
Can I interrupt?
Yes.
Do you mind if I interrupt? So for NARA employees, and I'm sure it's very similar for Library of Congress employees, we actually have a conflict of interest page that you're supposed, I don't know if you're going to be talking, we have a Dominic Bird McDevitt, who is our Wikipedian in residence at NARA. He's created a template for your personal page that says, I am a paid employee of NARA, there's sort of a boilerplate conflict of interest that I think we're semi-required by Wikipedia. I don't know if it's required or just sort of highly recommended that we have that on our Wikipedia page.
It is
in terms of good editing practices.
It is a hard rule if you're being paid to edit Wikipedia.
Right. So for most of us here today who are NARA employees, we're doing this on work time, and for many of us, we do these edit-a-thons on work time. So. We do have to have that conflict of interest page, and I can help when we're ready. I can help set up, and I can also help you. I think more of your questions should be directed to Dominic, since he's really the Wikipedia person, and he could not be here today. But I'm sure I see his little green dot on Google. He's teleworking. He's, I'm sure, able to help answer questions. But I can help you with the conflict of interest page.
Yes.
Next slide. Is this all?
This might be the last slide.
Okay.
I try to keep it short because I'd rather show off how Wikipedia works than lecture you forever. So if you don't mind, may I view Wikipedia on your computer?
Sure. Hang on. Do you want to sit here, hit sit and drive?
Sure.
Okay. So, yeah. Do you mind? It's not mirrored. Is that a problem? Or I can change the screen so that you see what everybody else sees.
It probably should be mirrored, yeah.
Okay, hang on. So take this time to grab some more coffee and bagels. Oh, this is a great time. Okay. Yeah, no, this is perfect. This will give me time to figure out what I'm doing. Yeah, that was a perfect time. Do you want to introduce me, Sarah? No, please, because I need to. If you don't mind.
So really quickly, we have another surprise guest. So we should all feel very, very fortunate. Jim is the executive for Presidential Libraries Legislative Archives.
Legislative Archives, Presidential Libraries, and Museum Services.
Legislative. I got them all though.
Just remember the best one comes first.
That was what I was doing.
Anyway,
But he's going to say a few words about Amending America and the initiative that brought us all here.
so Amending America is our first big nationwide initiative. It consists of a lot of moving parts, so it's a pretty complicated one. Maria Marable Bunch in this corner is overseeing, among other things, the National Conversations on Rights and Justice, which we've been holding. We've had one on civil rights and individual freedom at our library. We just had one on LGBTQ human rights and civil rights at the Chicago History Museum, and we will have one in October on women's rights and gender equality at the Customs House in New York. So there's one on immigration, and then one in Dallas that we're still working on, and then there'll be a big one here in DC next spring. So that's sort of that piece of it. Then there are exhibits, and again, you're working on the 11,000. Is that?
Yep.
Yep, you're working on the 11,000, which is part of the exhibit Amending America, the 11,000 failed amendment attempts to amend the Constitution. We also have a traveling version that's going on the road of Amending America that focuses on the Bill of Rights, which are the ones that the first ones that didn't fail. And let's see, we have a pop-up version of the exhibit. It's basically cardboard boxes on top of each other. We're producing 2,000 of those in every country through the Federation of State Humanities Councils. So we have a lot of things, and the point is to reach as possible about all of this. And all of this is occasioned by the 225th anniversary of the Bill of Rights, which is this year. So we're trying to engage and involve as many people as we can around the country. We have a lot of centers overseeing a lot of that. Natalie and others are working very hard on the social media side of it. I'm looking to see who's in the room. And so there are a lot of people working on that as well. We're using Twitter. What else?
Twitter, Pinterest, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, a little bit.
The reason I know Twitter is because Sarah taught me how to tweet. And I tweeted the hell out of the conference in Chicago. So I said I quadrupled her now. I won't be able to do that. So anyway, well, thank you all. I don't want to get too late here. I just want to come down and see how it's going. And encourage you. I know 11,000 kind of daunting, but enjoy.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I showed you the slides earlier about why Wikipedia is worth contributing to, how it kind of works, some of the rules involved. So, but I think the best way to show how Wikipedia works is to actually edit it, to show you all how it really works. So I'm going to go here to English Wikipedia. And I'm going to log in. Now, if you've never logged in before, the Create Account button up here in the top right corner, and if you haven't created an account yet, I highly recommend it. Technically not required, but I always recommend it because that way you get a log of your edits, and it shows that you're a real person, and if you don't log in, then your edits attributed to your IP address, and that can reveal where you are, which is not fun. So I'm going to log in here. What is my password? Excellent. Okay, so now I'm logged in. Up here, up here is this link up here that has your username. This leads you to your user page. I'm going to be recommending you all create one when you log in for the first time. It adds a little more context to who you are, so that way they see you're not just a random internet person, you're a real person, which is very helpful. You have your talk page, and people can leave messages on your talk page. You have the sandbox, where if you just want to experiment with Wikipedia's editing interface, you can go to Sandbox, or people sometimes draft new articles there. But to show you off edits, I'm going to load a random page. Oh, I don't know, list of proposed amendments to the United States Constitution. Just a topic I picked right off the top of my head. And page is loading, and you can see this nice long page. And it looks pretty comprehensive. These are the successful ones. Here's the ones that aren't approved. Now, let's see. Here we have court case names, and they're linked, but they're not italicized. Now, I'm a big-time grammar person, and I think these Supreme Court cases should be italicized. So what I'm just going to do is, I see there's a problem with Wikipedia, so I'm going to fix it. So here is a button up here that says Edit. I'm going to click Edit, and you get this editing interface. And if you were to try this a few years ago, you'd get this horrific looking thing with code and such. We now have a nicer version of the editing interface. It looks just like the article. And I'm going to go down to the Supreme Court cases. Oh, here's one up here, Coleman v. Miller. I'm going to select the text and see this underline italicized A here. That's going to select italic, and that italicizes it. Here's the other one. I'm going to italicize that. And here's the other one. Okay. So I found the edits I wanted to make. Now what I'd also like to do is cite a source. Citing sources is an excellent idea on Wikipedia. It's how people know you're not just making stuff up. They can see, oh, this reliable authoritative source says it, therefore it has to be, right? So up here, the amending process. Now this is, I can tell this is correct, but I don't see a single source up here. So what would be a good source for the amending process to the US Constitution? Article 5 of the Constitution. Okay. So where can we find Article 5 online? Excellent. So we're going to go to the National Archives, and we're going to find the text of the US Constitution.
America's Founding Docs. And where can I find the text for Article 5? There we go. Yep. Or not, well, this one. Okay, here, Article 5, and that verifies the content here. But so to add a source on Wikipedia, it's very easy. So I'm just going to put Wikipedia works on the basis of inline citations. So I'm just going to put my cursor here. I'm going to click this cite button. Now watch this. It's very easy. Click cite, enter the link, generate. Insert, and you've just cited a source on Wikipedia. And you don't have to worry about the numbering. The numbering updates automatically. Okay, so today I've italicized some court case names, and I added a source. So I'm already done. I've made the changes I want to make. I'm going to click Save Page here. Now it's a two-step process to save. Or save for real, you have to describe the changes you made. This makes it easier to identify individual edits later on. So I'm going to say italicized court name and added source for amending process. So I did that. I'm going to click Save Page. And this edit is live right now, and you'll see this. So that is how you edit Wikipedia. It's that easy. So are there any questions that you may have? If not, then thank you all for attending this Edit-a-thon today. I'm here to answer any questions you may have, but first I'd recommend that if you haven't created an account yet, you should create an account now. Click on Create Account on the top right corner, and you should follow that. And Wikipedia doesn't require much by way of personal information. The only personal information it requires is an email address. And technically that's optional, but I do recommend it because if you lose your password, that's how you get your account back. But otherwise it doesn't ask for your name or your address or anything ridiculous like that, because Wikipedia has a very strong emphasis on privacy. So how many people here are going to be creating accounts today? Okay, if it's under 6, then it's very straightforward. Otherwise, if we get over 6, then I'd have to create accounts for you because of anti-spam measures and whatnot. But thank you, and let me know if you need any help.
I believe she is coming. Okay, yes.
So the tour of the event, the next part of the event is that we're going to have a tour of the Amending America exhibit with Christine Blackerby, who is the curator, one of the curators of the exhibit. So she'll be here probably in another 15 minutes or so. We can go through for the tour, and I'll explain about that. Sure. Cheryl Shields wants to do a group photo for the tour. If we were interested, should we go part of the Wikipedia? Yeah. You want me to give you a no, actually.
You'll just sign it.
Yeah. So for anybody watching online, we're going to end a little bit early. This is Dina Herbert. I'm the coordinator of the Innovation Hub. We're going to be back online about 11:30 for the next part of our of our event. So come join us there if you have questions, hub at nara.gov.